Good day, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Stock Talk, where we talk all things investing. My name is Amin Reina. I'm an investment coach here at Sage Investors, and today I'd like to talk a little bit about Robo Advisors, specifically my own Robo Advisor portfolio. If people out there don't know anything about what Robo Advisors, what the hell am I talking about? Robo Advisors is a new kind of business model or investing model out there, essentially where you have, instead of people managing your money, you have algorithms, supposedly algorithms on computers managing your investments. And essentially what you do is you register online with a typical Robo Advisor online portfolio management service. They fill out, answer a bunch of risk tolerance type questions, and then the portfolio or the computer will spit out essentially a portfolio that is in line with your risk tolerance and some of your investment goals. And it essentially will manage the portfolio on your behalf and essentially will allocate your funds towards a variety of different asset classes, and will rebalance if certain things get out, certain things get off to manage it. So what's the big deal? So it's getting a lot of press and a lot of media attention. It's looking like a big kind of disruption to the financial services industry, and which is fine, and that's always good to have a new type of competition. But the question that I always keep asking myself, and which I don't get a lot of answers is, does this type of model, does this type of service actually make money? Is this any better than going and investing with a financial advisor or a portfolio manager or buying mutual funds? So I just couldn't find any real substantive information or data to kind of answer that question. And so a year ago, I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna figure it out, try to figure it out myself. So what I did is I took $5,000 of my own money and I opened up an account with a Robo Advisor service. And I'm not going to really talk about it, but the company I invested in. But I just wanted to see the whole process. They go through the experience of using a service like that, and to ultimately determine, hey, is this going to make me more money? Is this going to make me any money? So I started it about a year ago, and I basically said I'm going to just blog about it, and periodically I would blog about my observations, my experiences, and also the performance of the portfolio, and let's just see what happens. And straight enough, it's been a year ago that I set up the account, and so essentially for today I just want to kind of just give you some of my observations or summarize some of the highlights of the portfolio. And if you want to find more information, you can go read, I've posted a blog posting on my website, www.sageinvestors.ca, so you can go look for that. But I'll just give you some of the highlights essentially. So the fundamental question I ask with these about Robo Advisor services is, do they make money? Did I make any money over the course of the past year? And the answer is no. My portfolio lost about 2.15%. Now, if you back out the dividend payments that I received over the course of the year, I actually lost about 4.41% where you're looking at capital gains. So yeah, I lost money. So bottom line is I lost money, so it's not that great a service. Well, I think we have to be a bit fair, because if you look at over the events of the stock market over the past year, it was a pretty good start to last year, 2015. The stock market was setting record highs on a daily basis, but as you can see toward the year, as the year progressed, things started to get a little bit weaker and a little bit more shakier. So you have to kind of put that with a bit of a grain of salt. I kind of give that benefit of the doubt to the market, and I'll lead you to some of my conclusions at the end of this episode, to summarize some of my conclusions and takes overall on the service. So if you looked actually at my portfolio, there's 8 different ETFs that it was invested in, and pretty much all of them, except for the U.S. and the foreign equity components, the exception of those two, the rest lost money. So not that great. In terms of costs, one of the benefits that the Robo Advisor service talks about is that the fees are much, much lower. And in the case of my portfolio, I paid a total of 0.25% on commissions, management fees, and commissions. and which is great. And the goal is obviously to minimize that as much as possible. But the fact of the matter is, it was probably really low. A good reason why it was really that low was basically because I only put $5,000 into the portfolio, and this particular Robo Advisor that I used has a bit of a sliding scale. So as you put more money into it, basically the first $5,000 that you put into it there's no management fees or anything. So if you put more than $5,000, then it just starts, the increment starts by like 0.5%. So let's say if I put like $10,000 in that portfolio this year, I probably would have paid, in terms of commissions, I probably would have paid 0.75% on that, which is still not bad when you compare it to mutual funds out there who are charging like 2 to 4%, which is just complete highway robbery for absolute mediocre or subpar performance. And they're essentially, a lot of them are just closet index funds. So it's, when you compare it to that, it's pretty decent. One of the things I also wanted to see with the portfolio was how degree it actually churned and the number of transactions it would undertake during the year. Over the course of the year, it undertook 25 buy orders and 2 sell orders. And those 2 sell orders were basically to flip out of a position of the asset of the bond component of the portfolio. It sold a certain ETF and rotated it into a couple of other lower cost ETFs. But other than that, it was about 27 trades, which is pretty reasonable. And you have to also understand that I just set up the portfolio this year, so you can't just have a portfolio just rise from the ashes. You have to buy, you have to initiate, you have to make transactions to build up positions. So I can understand that. And one of the things I'm going to look forward to going forward is the amount of transactions that we'll see in subsequent years. Because if we start seeing a lot of sell orders in the portfolio, then I'm going to be wondering, okay, is the computer kind of rotating me out into other products, and what is the rationale for that? Or is it just churning my portfolio so it can generate commissions? So that's something I'm going to keep an eye on it. I guess some of the takeaways that I wrote about in my blog that came out of the experience that I've had over the past year with the Robo Advisor service is, well, first one is all about account setup. It's not everything. And one of the things these services do really, really well, and really well to inform you, is that setting up an account is like dirt easy. It's just, you can set it up on your phone now, you can set it up on a computer, it just takes minutes. And the fact of the matter is, I found this setup to be quite seamless. Actually, compared to some of the bigger banks, it was actually a very clean process. And that's good, and I think that's a good way to instill confidence in your product. But at the end of the day, we can't get too hung up on the whole account setup back office thing. We don't invest to prop up back offices. We invest to make money. And so at the end of the day, we need to get over the whole marketing shtick about account setups being seamless. Yes, it's seamless. It's great. That's to a point. We got to move on. Second thing is. It's lonely. It's a lonely gig having a robo portfolio. At my experience, when I set up the account, I had an opportunity to talk to an advisor, or an advisor that they call it, and discuss the portfolio and any questions I had about the service. And literally after that conversation a year ago, I have yet to speak to a human being from my Robo Advisor service. Like, I haven't heard a voice. And again, to be fair, that's okay, because that's what we signed up for. Essentially, a Robo Advisor service is no different than being a do-it-yourself investor signing up with a discount brokerage. You're on your own. In this case, somebody is managing your money, and I do get, the good thing is you can go onto their website and get all the monthly statements, and you can get all the transactions, and so everything is, from that perspective, is pretty transparent. But if you're a type of person who's been working with a financial advisor and having a human conversation with people about your money, this is probably going to be a bit of an eye-opener for you. So expect to be a little bit lonely. Now, that being said, I did receive communication throughout the year. Most often it was in an email format, and basically, especially during times when the market was really like crapping out, and I was getting that kind of virtual tap on the shoulder. There, everything is fine. Just stay the course, and everything is fine. It's all good. So, there was communication, but again, it's a different type of communication. And again, the key thing with these robo advisors is they're going really hard at the younger millennial crowd, who are very much online, who really don't have as much of a human interface. They're interested in texting, they want notifications, online notifications. So for that kind of crowd, for that kind of demographic, that just might be all that's needed for that kind of service. Finally, the last observation I had was, it's interesting how as much as things are changing, as much as technology is disrupting things, some things are just still the same. And during the course of the year, I received an email from my Robo Adviser offering me a chance to get free streaming at a specific music streaming service for a year if I put more money into it. And I thought, you know what, wow, this is just kind of like when I flash back to me when I was a kid and I opened up my first bank account and I got a toaster. I don't know if you remember that. I'm probably dating myself on this, but I remember the two accounts that I opened as a kid. One I got a toaster and one I got a transistor radio. And so it's kind of funny when I'm seeing these kind of like incentives being thrown at me so many, like 30 years later, that as much as things have changed, they really haven't changed. And so the key thing really is, don't try to get sucked into a lot of these promos or getting comped on kind of things. But at the end of the day, why are you investing your hard-earned money? To make money. You're not there to get free swag. So that's kind of some of my core observations. I said you can go on my website and tweeted out a link to my website. You can check it out. And so essentially my observations for the year are, when I look at it right now, it's pretty hard for me to pronounce judgment saying this is a bad business model or an investment philosophy or format, because it's only been a year. And really, to see the value or not lack of value in this type of ideology or process, we're going to need to see these kind of things get stress tested for through a real business cycle. And that's probably going to be a good 3 to 5 years. And I think that's when you're really going to be able to answer the question, is a Robo Advisor service really any better than any other type of service, investment management service out there? So the jury's still out. And as I said, I'm going to keep blogging out. This is not just a one-year wonder kind of thing for me. I'm going to be still keeping my money in this Robo service, and I'm going to keep blogging about it, making observations that I see that people should hear about and understand, and hopefully push out there for these companies to be a little bit more transparent in terms of their performance, because it is a key factor. At the end of the day, and I sound like a broken record, we invest, we put money in stocks to make money. That's really the bottom line. So I hope you had some. Hope this was some value. Had some value to out there. If you have any other questions about any other topics, investment topics, you want me to talk about or ponder on or mind map on, feel free to give me a shout. You can email me at through my website www.sageinvestors.ca, or you can do a DM me through Twitter. I'm on there all the time. My handle is @SageInvestors. So there's been another edition of Stock Talk. My name is Amin Raina from Sage Investors, and we'll catch you again.